So you've finally done it. You finally hit your first welcome bonus on a brand new credit card. You have a ton of points and you're ready to book that business class flight to Tahiti. But wait, how do I do that? All the YouTube videos I watched told me how to get points. They didn't tell me how I actually go out and spend them, or they skipped the whole process of how to actually book those flights. Today I want to go over a step-by-step process of how you can transfer your points from Chase, Amex, or Citi directly over to different airlines and how you can book those business class flights. Now I should say every bank does it a little bit different here, but I put together a presentation that should easily break down every step along the way and what tools you can use to find that award availability. But first, before I go into that presentation, I just want to highlight that I am less than 70 subscribers away from 500 subscribers. So if you can go ahead and click that like button, hit that subscribe button, I'd love to hit 500 subscribers as soon as possible. So I took a screenshot here from my Chase website breaking down all the different things that I can do with my points right now. I can redeem them in the Chase travel portal, I can get some cash back, I can pay myself back for different purchases, I can get gift cards, Shop Apple, the shop at Chase, pay with points, experiences, and they all have, different values. So I have 37,000 points here, everything here is roughly 1 cent per point. Chase Travel's a little bit extra. I have the 1.25 Chase Travel Portal boost right now, but the one I want to highlight here is transferring points. This is how you can unlock outsized value. And as you can see here, you can get your Chase points turned into basically direct cash. If you Chase bank account, you can deposit it straight there. Awesome. $376 could have been in your bank account in this situation. But we want to get that extra value. So let's look at what should we do with our Chase points. Like I said here, you want at least 1 cent per point for basically any kind of transferable currency. Ideally, you want more than that, but for Chase points, if you're getting at least 1 cent per point, I'm not going to yell at you. I'm not going to say you're doing anything wrong. And hey, $376, put that in the market. That's way more than any value you can get off a business class flight, in my opinion, by the time you retire. The point of this video is not to go over hotel bookings when it comes to points, but just for a nice step-by-step process, feel free to take a screenshot here. This is what you can do. Maybe this will be a video for another day, but we want to talk about how to book those business class flights on points. So there are a few different steps. The first thing that I always tell people when I'm advising them on how to book business class flights is to create airline accounts with as many accounts as possible. Now, this is something that could take, 10, 15 minutes, all the way up to an hour, depending on how many accounts you want to go. But what you want to do is make sure that you have an account ready for every single possible transfer partner that you might think of. I personally did this myself to create Aeroplan accounts, Singapore Airline accounts, EVA Air accounts, Qantas accounts, because I knew I wanted to fly to Japan, and there's a lot of different ways that you can fly to Japan. So I wanted to make sure that I had every account possible so that when I saw that availability, I was ready to transfer my points immediately. I know there are also some airlines that make you wait 30 days before you can transfer points into their account. So it's just good to have all of those accounts ready to go right away, especially because sometimes availability can get snatched up quite quickly. You don't want to waste your time creating accounts. So just create as many airline accounts as you can find, dedicate at most an hour to it just one day, and you never have to worry about it again. The next thing to do is to figure out where you're actually going and research what airlines fly there. Now, if you want to fly to Japan, again, that's my example here, you want to figure out what airline alliances are the best to get you there. Now, in my specific example, I use Star Alliance to get to Japan. I, as you'll see here, transferred all of my points to Air Canada, which is right here. Air Canada, I think, is one of the most underrated transfer partners in the game, and I transferred my points to Air Canada, not because I wanted to fly to Canada, because no one wants to do that, is that airlines in the same alliance can book each other's flights when it comes on points. Best way to describe this is that I used Air Canada's points to book Singapore Airlines flights, as well as a flight from EVA Air from Taipei to LAX in business class. If you're scratching your head, another way to think about it is I took my Capital One miles, sent them to Air Canada, went on Air Canada's website, searched LAX to Tokyo. I made sure that I was looking for award availability, so points on flights, and then I was able to see flights from LAX to Tokyo on Singapore Airlines. Hopefully you're able to follow that. Another example of this is booking American Airlines flights with Alaska Miles. So for example, if you have the Bilt Palladium credit card and you're earning points on your rent and you have 50,000 Bilt points because you just finished that sign-up bonus, you can send those 50,000 Bilt points to Alaska or their Atmos program and use those Atmos points to book American Airline flights because they are in the same airline alliance. Now, I'm not going to spend time going over every airline and what alliance they're in, but for example, here are the Star Alliance partners as of whenever this photo was taken. So I believe this is up to date. But again, Air Canada, Singapore, United. Some people in the past have used Turkish airline miles to book United flights. Now, I will say that you will not be able to book every single flight possible using this alliance strategy. Something these airlines do is only release partial availability to these other airlines to book. So in the past, United released a lot of availability to their Star Alliance partners, specifically Turkish. You can find United flights on the Turkish Airlines website for less than 5,000 points, which is pretty awesome. It does seem that specific connection has been nerfed, however, so you don't see really many United flights on Turkish Airlines. But there are a ton of sweet spots in the game, and specifically, if you want to fly from LAX to Tokyo, use Air Canada. It is a great way to get there. The next thing I want to highlight is how to actually find that availability. Me personally, I literally just went to the Air Canada website, looked 1 year in advance on the calendar, and just searched by business class. I literally went July 1st, nope. July 2nd, any business class flights, nope, so on and so forth. You can brute force it that way. I'm not even going to show everyone how I did that because I think that is kind of a waste of everyone's time. So we're going to use a specific website that I like using called Seats.aero. Alright, so you'll see on Seats.aero, basically you can put in your origin airport, your destination airport, and your departure time. Now, for websites like Seats.aero or Points.me or Points.aero or whatever resource you want to use, I'll just talk about Seats.aero because it's, in my opinion, the easiest to use right now. You can put in your departure date and go and hit search. Now, something I will highlight is that if you want to search out far in advance or for specific dates, you do have to pay for their premium service. Now, this is something that I don't do, but if you know you're going to make a lot of large bookings all at once, buy it for a month, cancel, that's up to you. But I'm going to get my little screen here out of the way. We're going to go from LAX to Chicago sometime in March, plus or minus 14 days. And as you can see here, I've already searched. Let's go here. We want to search by business class. Let's do that. You can fly from LAX to Chicago on American Airlines business class for 21,000 points. That's pretty awesome. Now, something I do want to highlight is that these are one-way prices, and you probably should go into the American Airlines apps to make sure what a round-trip flight might actually look like. But if we're talking about international business class, only book those as one-ways. Trying to find round-trip availability is basically impossible. Book your departure flight, then, book your return flight. Now, let's actually do the work here. Let's find a flight from LAX to Paris. All right, as you can see here, I have LAX to Paris, March 13th, plus or minus 14 days. Let's look. All right, there is some availability here. LAX to Charles de Gaulle in Paris on American Airlines. You want to fly business class? You can do that one way for 57,500 points plus $755 in taxes and fees. Now, there is a connection here, and I'm assuming that's through London Heathrow. Probably not the best deal. Let's see here. On Alaska, you can do it for 70,000 points and $18 in taxes. Again, has connections as well. You can, again, go through here. Maybe you can find one with no connection, or maybe you don't mind a connection. You can look at all the availability here. Again, 70,000 points, 108,000 points via Qantas, and that seems to be about it. What this website is really nice for is it'll show you what kind of program it is. So if you want to book this American. Transfer your points to Qantas. Transfer your points to JetBlue. Maybe not for 239,000 points. That's maybe a little excessive. And if you want to know how the pros get it done, a lot of the time it's with Seats.aero. Now, the next thing to do is once you've found your flight on Seats.aero is to go to the actual website and make sure that flight exists. There is something known as Phantom Award Availability where it might pop up on Seats.aero, but when you actually go and you type in LAX to Chicago, March 9th, the flight doesn't pop up for the points price that it says. Now, unfortunately, these websites do not always update as fast as we would like them. Certain programs update faster than others. I don't know the reasoning behind it, but a lot of times you might find some Phantom Award availability and you gotta go back to the drawing board. That's just part of the game. It happened to me a couple times when searching for flights to Tokyo. I ended up saying screw it. I brute forced it and it worked. But I would say that when you're using these websites, just make sure that you actually see the award availability on the website that you are about to transfer your points to before transferring your points. Because you can transfer your points to a bunch of different places, but once you send them someplace, you cannot send them back to Chase, Amex, or Citi. Now, when you are actually ready to transfer your points, you can actually go right here, Chase Sapphire Preferred, transfer points, and you can select your program. The reason why it's so important that you created a loyalty program ahead of time is, like I said, sometimes certain airlines won't let you transfer points for a certain amount of days, Or if it's a very competitive booking, like a flight to Tokyo or from Tokyo back to America, you want to make sure you have your loyalty account ready to go because that booking could disappear just as fast as it showed up. Some airlines also take longer to transfer points than others, so you want to make sure that you're making your booking as quickly as possible. I've noticed that, Aeroplan, Hyatt, when I send points over there, they show up right away. But if you have Amex points and you want to send them to ANA to book that, first class flight to Japan, ANA has been known to take some time to get those points into your account. So again, do your research of how long it takes points to transfer over before you transfer them. The last thing you want to do is send hundreds of thousands of points to some airline, get hungry, eat some food, take a nap, you wake up 2 hours later and boom, your flight's gone. That's the last thing you want to do because then you just have a bunch of points stuck in some program you're probably never going to use again. But what do you do once you finally transferred your points over, you made your booking, you're all ready to go? What's next? Well, it's time to celebrate because you are now officially a credit card master and you officially are allowed to make your own YouTube channel and start making hundreds of millions of dollars like we know all of us credit card YouTubers definitely are. But to be completely honest, there is no better feeling than finally redeeming your first international business class flight booking. I'm personally going to Japan in July, as I've said in many, many videos, and this will be the first time I'm ever flying business class. Now, I have been upgraded a couple times on some domestic Delta flights to first class, on some ERJs. Definitely not as good as international business class. I also plan on going to Europe once or maybe even twice in 2027, and I will definitely be flying business class or first class both ways. I have enough points, I have my airline accounts made, I'm just waiting for that availability to pop up to places I actually want to go in a time frame that works for me and my friends. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you can use this video as your step-by-step guide to finally making your first international business class booking. I know there are a ton of pros out there that do this basically daily, but I always want to make sure that I'm making videos not just for the intermediate traveler, but also for those beginner travelers as well. If I'm going to talk about all of the awesome travel I'm going to be doing over the next couple of years, I want to make sure that I also provide the resources of how you can do the same thing as well. It doesn't take a master's degree or someone with hundreds of thousands of dollars to make these bookings. All it takes is a couple sign-up bonuses and maybe a few late nights checking Seats.aero, Points.aero, Points.me, and all the other websites out there for that one specific flight to Japan that hasn't been fully booked yet. So if you made it to the end of this video, I just want to thank you again. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Like I said, I really want to hit 500 subscribers as soon as possible. I am so close, I can taste it. And again, what kind of bookings have you made using websites like Seats.aero? Feel free to throw those in the comments down below. And if I was able to help you make one of your first transfer points bookings, feel free to leave it in the comments below. We'd love to celebrate that one with you. And most importantly, have a great rest of your day.